rappers dropping clips right now. Booty Mo. That's not what I heard in the courtroom, but hey, who knows? I could be getting in a black truck at San Diego airport. Jam said something funny. He said, we didn't take no orders from Vonnie. He's a nobody, all right? He just gives us stuff. He don't tell us what to do. And then basically what it sounds like is that Boogie and Jam, they left San Diego airport and went to a local Hooters. And that's when they spoke to Doodie Lowe. And it was basically confirmed at this point that Doodie Lowe was co-conspirator 4. He was the one that gave the location to Quando Rondo. Some people are putting it out there that it was Booney Mo. That's not what I heard in the courtroom, but hey, who knows? I could be getting screamed at by Dirk's team tomorrow about that, but I'm just going by my notes and what they said. Basically, apparently Doodie Lowe, and it's crazy that his last name is Lowe. It's not his real last name, but Lowe. Bro, he the one giving the Lowe, allegedly. He apparently let Jam and them know that somebody at a weed dispensary that Quando was going to buy some weed from had basically told them, and the plan was to catch Quando and kill him and use this kind of weed purchase thing as a way of kind of, getting the drop on him. They said previously they'd got some information about where Quando was from, but it was unsuccessful. They weren't basically able to kill him like they had hoped to. Now, this was where the testimony got insane. And shout out to Doodie Lowe. I've got no problems with Doodie Lowe. Jam doing a lot of telling on Doodie Lowe. That's all I know. Okay. Basically, Doodie Lowe got on FaceTime with Jam and Boogie while they were in Hooters. They said they FaceTimed Jam and Aza, and basically they said Doodie knows where Quando is going to be while he's staying in LA, knows his flight info. Doodie was in tune with the dude that was supposed to sell Quando weed, and somebody gave the location to Doodie where Quando was staying. Jam said, it's not something I wanted to do, but I thought, damn, I'm here now. It's basically been dropped on him that he's got to do this murder in California. He said, I can't get away, so I just went along with the plan. He said, where I'm from, you don't stop nobody killing somebody. That's what gets you killed. He said, they will get mad and think you're the police. He explained that he didn't consider the Quando situation his beef. He said it was some rap stuff that had something to do with NBA Youngboy. He said, I'm used to Chicago beef. All of that had nothing to do with me. He said he wasn't comfortable doing a hit in LA because he's not from there. He said, if it went wrong, I got in a high-speed chase, I got hurt, I wouldn't know where to go. He said, I've been in high-speed chases in Chicago and I know the way. It helps. He explained, look, King Von got into it with NBA Youngboy. It didn't even have nothing to do with Von. Von was just riding for his homie and basically, took off on Quando and just created all this situation. It was none of their business. And he said, I didn't feel like I should have slid for Von. Von wasn't even from my block. He wasn't my homie. We didn't kick it. I didn't love him. But he said, but me and Boogie basically, once Doodie Lowe told us.
Damn. He said Von wasn't even his bro. He wasn't from his block. That's crazy.
Boogie would then be joined by Didi, Flocka, a.k.a. Jones, and the CVL shorty, which obviously David Lindsay, who's in the courtroom, but Jam kept saying, I only know him as just the CVL shorty. And they showed the picture of Flocka. He explained that he met him in juvie. They used to fight together. He said, we used to beat people's ass together. He kind of laughed when he said that, and he said, oh, I'm sorry. I said to the judge, I'm sorry. He said, when I came back from prison, I used to see Flocka on Didi's block. We never really they could kind of see the lights off in the distance above LA. And all the members got off. They stretched out. Somebody tried to take a picture, but it was too dark. Jam tried to take a video, but it was too dark. And you're thinking, bro, you guys are really trying to take videos on your sprinter break. That's insane. So from there, they went to Target or Walmart. He wasn't sure which one, but like a large supermarket. And they basically stopped there to buy hoodies and gloves. They basically were trying to disguise themselves. And like nobody had brought hoodies and gloves with them, so they had to stop and buy them. So they got back on the Sprinter bus and eventually got to LA. Now they pulled up like a car lot that was apparently off a busy street, and then Vonnie got on the party bus, right? The Hitman bus, the Sprinter. He said, what's up? And then he stepped off to talk to Didi. And then he came back and apparently Vonnie said, I got some bad news. I only got 3 guns. Right, and I don't want to get anything wrong here. So look, I'm just going to tell you what I wrote in my notes. If it was slightly off, I apologize, but I'm thinking it's close enough. He basically said that this was the first time that he had seen Vonnie in this trip, and everyone said, "What's up?" Jam shook Vonnie's hand, and then Vonnie came back with Didi. He said the bad news: only got 3 guns, and then Jam says he remembers he gave out some guns. Right, he had 2 Glocks with extendos, and he said that they were hanging out one of their pockets of their hoodie. He couldn't remember who. They had extended clips. He said he gave a Glock to David Lindsay, and Flocka, Aza, got given. Is that right?
Yo, you finessed the shit out of Jam.
My bad.
Jam
Flocker
didn't-
being Keith
yeah,
Jones.
he didn't know
They
what he was
basically
doing.
gave another Glock to Flocker. That was the Glock with the switch on it. And then Didi was holding a Beretta in his hand. And apparently he said, "I'm rusty. It's been a while," and then handed the Beretta to Jam. So it was basically these guns being handed out determined who was a shooter from that moment on. And it was never questioned. Jam made it clear that a switch is what makes a Glock fully automatic. They're saying that Flocker, aka Keith Jones, had the switch. Yeah, Flocker was the one with the switch. That was confirmed. And then they basically said someone was delivering a 4-door car. It was white with tinted windows. This was the slider for the murder, the Infinity. And he said that the person that dropped it off, he didn't know who they were, but they wiped off the door handle with their sleeve, got paid, and then left.
Niggas in ass chat
Jam,
are
Flocker,
fight
Boogie,
right
and the CVL Shorty basically all got into their cars, got into that Infinity Walmart. He wasn't sure which one, but like a large supermarket. And they basically stopped there to buy hoodies and gloves. They basically were trying to disguise themselves, and like nobody had brought hoodies and gloves with them, so they had to stop and buy them. So they got back on the Sprinter bus and eventually got to LA. Now they pulled up like a car lot that was apparently off a busy street, and then Vonnie got on the party bus, right? The Hitman bus, the Sprinter. He said, "What's up?" And then he stepped off to talk to Didi. And then he came back, and apparently Vonnie said, "I got some bad news. I only got 3 guns." Right, and I don't want to get anything wrong here. So look, I'm just going to tell you what I wrote in my notes. If it was slightly off, I apologize, but I'm thinking it's close enough. He basically said that this was the first time that he had seen Vonnie in this trip, and everyone said, "What's up?" Jam shook Vonnie's hand, and then Vonnie came back with Didi. He said, "The bad news, only got 3 guns," and then Jam says he remembers he gave out some guns, right? He had 2 Glocks with extendos, and he said that they were hanging out one of their pockets of their hoodie. He couldn't remember who. They had extended clips. He said he gave a Glock to David Lindsay, and Flocker, Aza, got given... is that right?
Yo, he finessed the shit out of Jam.
My bad. Flocker being Keith Jones. They basically
doing.
gave another Glock to Flocker. That was the Glock with the switch on it. And then Didi was holding a Beretta in his hand. And apparently he said, "I'm rusty. It's been a while," and then handed the Beretta to Jam. So it was basically these guns being handed out determined who was a shooter from that moment on. And it was never questioned. Jam made it clear that a switch is what makes a Glock fully automatic. They're saying that Flocker, aka Keith Jones, had the switch. Yeah, Flocker was the one with the switch. That was confirmed. And then they basically said someone was delivering a 4-door car. It was white with tinted windows. This was the slider for the murder, the Infinity. And he said that the person that dropped it off, he didn't know who they were, but they wiped off the door handle with their sleeve, got paid, and then left.
Niggas in ass chat
Jam,
are
Flocker,
fight
Boogie,
right
and the CVL Shorty basically all got into their cars, got into that Infinity, and then Vonnie and Didi got in the BMW, and everybody left. And where did they go? Did they go to their own hotel? No, they didn't. Allegedly, they went to the hotel that they knew Quando was staying in. They immediately went to Quando.
Damn, these niggas flew out without luggage. They don't even go to, we niggas, so we don't need to freshen up, but immediately
We
drive
niggas.
right to where Quando's staying. Damn.
That's
They,
crazy.
they showed up to Quando Hotel like they try to, they might try to check in and check that nigga out.
Quando's hotel, and they basically saying that the shooters in the Infinity followed Vonnie in the BMW to a side block. Jam said he got out the car with Flocker and Didi to basically look around the hotel, see the ins and outs. They parked kind of away from it. He couldn't say exactly where. But then he said they swapped over. Jam then got in the car with Didi and Vonnie in the BMW, and the rest of them got in the Infinity. And they basically were scoping the scene out. So during this time, allegedly, according to Jam, Doody Low called them on FaceTime and basically says that the weed guy has Quando's location and has texted Quando saying that he's close, and he's told Quando Rondo he's like only a few minutes away. And Doody basically, allegedly the quote was, Doody said, "I talked to the weed guy who's got Quando's low. He told me to tell Quando he's almost there to deliver." Jam basically said this was all a trick to get Quando downstairs. Doody said that the dude wasn't really coming with any weed. It was a trick. And that's where we're going to get them, where we're going to kill them. That was crazy. I'm not going to lie. That was crazy. So they got up the video outside the hotel and they showed the cars. They got Jam to identify the slider, the BMW, both parked outside. He said, "I remember this because we were on opposite sides of the street. I remember it well. I was in the BMW with Didi and Cuz." And then basically Jam went on to say that we sat for a minute looking through glass. We were kind of looking through to the lobby. Then we went back to a side block. We were going to tell the the other car to basically pull up and get busy when Quando came out. They knew that Quando was wearing a camo shiesty mask. Somebody had a camo Bape hoodie on. They said Quando looked like he was smoking a cigarette outside, and at one point they saw the light bounce off his diamond grill. And he basically said they were about to slide and kill Quando Rondo at the hotel, but then cops were riding past. He said damn near every minute a police car drove past. LAPD was everywhere. He said they decided it was too hot to do the murder at that point. All right. And he basically said Quando was wearing a poo shiesty ski mask. Right. He explained what that was. Brian Steele objected to loads of stuff along the way, and the judge just kept on overruling. Bro, let him talk. So apparently, Didi was in the back, and he took the Beretta from Jam, and apparently he wound down the window, held the gun up, pointed it right at Quando, and he said, I could get him right now. It would be easy. That was crazy, but he didn't do it. All right. So
I think Didi was woofing.
That's cat.
He wanted them niggas to know that I'm like that.
That is just insane. That was like a movie. These guys are thinking this is a real life movie. So after that, they called off that hit. They said that the police were making it too hot and risky.
We played this yesterday.
Jam explained that hot is, you know, when the police are onto an area. He's hot. The situation was hot. They went back to the hotel. Both of the cars went together. And they were outside Quando's hotel. They'd been communicating on their phones. Sounded like there was FaceTime, but he said he didn't know that the two cars might have been communicating on regular calls, possibly FaceTime. And they said that Vonnie was taking them to the hotel. It was the same hotel that everybody that goes to Disneyland stays at. After that, Vonnie did all of the checking in when they got to that hotel. Jam told Vonnie that he needed some weed, and Vonnie left to get some, and he came back with it. They were staying in a first...
Okay, so Vonnie's like doing assistant shit. Yo, go get me some weed, little nigga. Go get me that weed, nigga.
Level room that had a sliding door that went straight out to the parking lot. So Jam basically went out and smoked a little something with Flocka. He talked on the phone, then he went to sleep, and they planned on catching Quando the next day. So we went away, all right? We came back after a little break, and that was kind of the end of the testimony for the day. But what was interesting is that final part. Dirk's lawyers made a motion for a mistrial. The judge was like, that... Tory Lane's comment isn't enough for a mistrial. We're striking it from the record. But, like, he basically gave a bunch of points as to why that was not sufficient for a mistrial. And we know that Brian Steele loves to ask for a mistrial. He did that a lot in the Young Thug trial. And then Didi's lawyer basically said an absolute load of nonsense. He said, this is death by 1,000 cuts. At a certain point, it becomes too much. Yeah, no shit. The evidence is overwhelming. He said we didn't have there were certain bits of evidence that we didn't have, exhibits that we didn't have. He basically was saying that they never said that they would show the Didi Murder Man video in front of the witness. And this guy, oh my God, Didi's lawyer, I'm sorry, but he's just talking a lot of nonsense at certain points. Sometimes he does it really good, and then other times it's like, bro, you're slipping. He said, Didi wasn't referring to himself as a murder man. He was referring to another guy that was there called Murder Man. He said, I request a mistrial. The judge flat out denied straight away. And the prosecution clapped back. They said, they didn't say bro. The prosecution responded. They said, he is lying. That's not what he said. The comment under the video said, Murder Man. And then Vonnie said, they saying I'm a murder man, for sure that. And so we didn't give a transcript because there was a lot of slang and things. We didn't want to try and tilt things. We just wanted to let the jury make their mind up of what they heard. And the judge said, look, I accept what the government says. We're not having this nonsense, right? And I was thinking, bro, we all heard Didi plain as day say that, they say I'm a murder man. Yeah, true that. The idea that it's like, they were talking about someone else that was a murder man. No, absolute cap. All right? Absolute cap. So it sounded like there were actually going to be some conversations that would be going on behind the scenes related to co-conspirator 6, who I believe was THF Bezu. And I think it sounds like they're worried about Jam or other witnesses telling the court things that Bezu said because Bezu is no longer alive. Also, at the end, I would say that Dirk kind of put on, once sort of everything was wrapped up, Dirk put on a big fake smile like he's done a few times. But Brian still looked pissed. He looked livid. He looked really angry. So look, no disrespect. I do think that they had a bad day in court. Jam's testimony was overwhelming. We haven't even got to the full breakdown of exactly how the murder went down. I'm sure that's going to come tomorrow. But let's see how Brian Steele plays Jam. When Brian Steele gets to cross-examine Jam, is he going to go out like YSL Woody? It's for, I think it... Cooperator.
Okay. Good shit, my man. So I'm gonna show y'all something. This right here is the most accurate photo of Lil Durk. Obviously, we're in the federal courthouse. So this right here is the most accurate photo of Lil Durk. That's how his hair is. He looked cool. You know what I'm saying? He done lost a little bit of weight. Obviously, he ain't on drugs and all that in that jailhouse. So It seemed like he doing all right.
Yo, chat. Let me grab some. I'm about to grab some drink.
Now, what's to be expected today is dude is going to get done with his testimony. He was sitting at the table like he was a lawyer, but he's an agent. And like I said, the judge said he didn't want anybody on the damn table, in the damn courtroom, who literally was going to testify. They don't give a shit. The dude was there the whole entire time. Now, we're supposed to be getting jammed today. Big reveal. We're supposed to be getting jammed today, and that's going to be crazy. There's this theory that's out there is that Brian Steele is going to destroy him on the stand, or he's having second guesses and all that. I don't know. Now, to take a poem, you said me and Trap Lord Ross seeing the same thing and having different opinions about it. I'm going to ask you this simple question. When you heard the story of the boy who cried wolf, what did you take away from that story? You probably took away from that story, tell the truth the whole entire time. To me, I took away from that story, never tell the same lie twice. We don't think the same. We can watch the same shit, we can do the same thing, but we ain't gonna be the same. So if my perspective of certain things is that it's not what it is, it's this, that's my opinion. When they say, Dirk said, hey, I can't go out like, I lost Newski, I can't go out like that. People gotta remember, Lil Durk was depressed. He had a whole depressive episode. I took that as Lil Durk is saying, I'm not gonna harm myself, I'm not gonna do anything. Everybody else is taking that and saying, oh, he's planning the slide and all that and everything. No, bro, he was crying when he lost Newski. That boy was a shell of himself for a minute. Go talk to his homies. They're gonna tell you Lil Durk was depressed during that shit. That's why everybody was telling him, I love you, you my little bro, all of this shit. It wasn't in my opinion, that wasn't this about to get revengeful and we about to slide on people. Y'all take it your way, I'm gonna take it my way. And this ain't no diss towards Tay, but bro, you saying it that way, y'all can do that. Man, bro, we don't see the same thing the same way. We might watch a basketball game and I might say this player the reason they lost the game. You might say this other person is. It's just difference of opinion. So, man, leave that for you, but understand, I'm gonna give you a different perspective on how I see it. That's all. And the way I see it, and y'all see Drew and everybody, the lawyers, they watch Seti Nash. They say, we rock with the hood lawyer. Just telling you. Money Duke and goddamn Lil Durk get into it about them not sliding for Von. And Money Duke basically like, man, y'all ain't sliding for Von. Y'all ain't did shit for Von. All of this shit. And then Money Duke basically was talking hella shit. And he got on group chat, texted everybody talking hella shit. So, shout out. So anyways, goddamn Money Duke and them, they get on group chat with DD and what's cuz name? With Diddy and Jim and Dirk, and they all talking shit. And Jim like, nigga, we gonna go to war with the audience. Fuck them. Nigga, hey, bro, y'all ain't slide for Von. The Money Duke like, nigga, y'all didn't slide for Von. Y'all didn't do shit for Von, bro. So, nigga, fuck y'all. And so it just go off like that, bro. So you mean to tell me O-Block and Lamron was basically gonna go to war for not sliding for Von, bro? Crazy shit. Keep tuning in. I'm about to update the shit out y'all.
You feel me?
Go viral, bro. This shit about to go viral. So you got Jam, who basically told the whole entire thing. They basically got away with it, bro. They literally basically got away with it. Jam got pulled over, had a gun on him, and basically wrote a note. The note literally reads, I know about murders. I don't want to talk on camera. I know a lot. Then we ended before lunch with the damn lawyer saying, do you still got love for Lil Durk? He gonna say, yeah, I love Lil Durk. But, you know, what Lil Durk did was selfish. What Lil Durk did was basically put me in a situation with people I don't know. With cats I don't even know. When we went and slid for Von, I didn't even know Von. If it had been like Boone and Mo, then it wouldn't have been no problem and all that. And then he said he had no reason to do this. And he said he still got love for Durk. He was there for me, and I feel bad, and I know
y'all finna say L Eats, but nigga, my health bar is blinking. I want 1%, gang.
Nigga, you're that.
I know y'all done ate good. I've been streaming for 9 hours. They ain't even eat, nigga. All right, I got the leftover pizza from yesterday. I ain't even gonna cap.
Man,
leftover pizza, man. I'm a simple nigga.
We watching some academics.
I don't like no expensive restaurants, man. Simple. Leftover Domino pizza, and I got a chicken sandwich, a spicy one from Chick-fil-A. That's it. That's dinner. That's
Bro,
dinner right here, Jack.
you're eating-
Dead ass.
Act, you're eating
On
leftover
a dead homie.
Chick-fil-A, nigga.
And I got some Tito's. I know y'all probably like, yo, this cannot be how a millionaire is giving it up. Yeah, I could get a chef and all that, but fuck all that shit, nigga. Like, I'm all,
How
I eat like
crazy
a
if
hood
you
nigga.
need.
Alright, I got some Tito's. I got a cup of ice, and I got a Diet Coke, nigga.
I swear, Morrison, he's eating
Diet
leftovers,
Coke.
bro, and he's a millionaire.
All right? I'm going to be good for another, like, 2 hours off of this shit. Y'all got to be happy. Just off of this, I'm good for another, like, 2 hours.
Fast
It's a
forward,
power
I'm trying
up,
to
nigga.
see what happened today, bro. Like, shut up, you D.
This is a power up. Half a cup of Tito's. I know, chat. There we go. Bet. Oh, let me get back to this. Didn't we watch these videos earlier? I thought we watched these videos earlier.
Well, my screen is called. Let's get the
Fucking
lights in
lit.
here, bro.
Jim said he felt sorry for Quando Rondo people because he didn't do anything to him and all this punk ass shit. But while he was out before they got caught, Jim was out there being aggressive, talking about shooting motherfuckers and all this shit. So you felt bad because of what exactly? He never expressed no remorse about shooting that motherfucker in the head in Wisconsin. He never expressed any of this shit. He said it's against code from BDs to tail and all this shit. You gotta die for the gang and all this. But you ain't do none of that shit. He couldn't take his lick because
up,
he was
Big?
on parole for the 12 years that he had did
What type of
for some
screen is
shit
it?
that
Everybody tap
happened
the
when he
screen.
got told on basically
Lil Durk with Jimmy
12 years
CCIG,
ago
yeah,
for
that's
that
a
shit.
lead
So
now.
that's his whole reason. We found out that Braids, the Braids motherfucker, he lied in his testimony. I done piece the shit out of him if I'm Brian Steele, because Braids lied about the cameras and said that, hey, bruh, we didn't have cameras and all this shit. No, literally,
What my
they
likes
could have
then, bro?
audio
What my likes
recorded it
then, bro?
because
What my likes
Jim the
then,
one
bro?
who said no video cameras. That's the
likes
reason
then, bro?
why. So if you was
What my
such a
likes then,
head
bro?
honcho and all this shit, how
What my
you
likes
didn't
then,
read
bro?
the note about the person who
We'll send
said,
you live.
hey, bro, I'm finna come snitch, just don't bring no videos. If he would have said, bro, hey, man, I'm not
I don't
gonna
think he's
snitch
gonna
if
come
y'all
out.
bring cameras, that's one thing. But he
that's my
said they didn't
opinion.
bring
I
him for
might
a
be
whole
wrong.
entire
What's up,
different
Sammy?
reason. Say to him, we got way more coming out because, man, this shit is crazy. They talking about, hey, bro, Lil Durk was buying
Morrison,
hot
what do you
cars for
think?
everybody, but there's a bombshell that happened too. They say, Jeff say,
Is Lil Durk coming
niggas
home?
didn't get paid for sliding for Vine. It wasn't for sliding for Vine outside of LA. So they really destroying the murder for hire part because they basically come out and say, Lil Durk was putting money in the
my
street for
connection is
people because
unstable.
motherfuckers kept on begging. They was asking for houses and cars and all this shit. And then
Is Lil Durk coming home?
Lamron
Is Lil Durk coming home?
versus OTF war damn near start.
Excuse me? Durky, by Fiona. One of my one way Lil Durk fan be I'm one type of free schmirk, yo.
Now, first, Dooley Lowe wasn't originally from Lamron, O Block, or
He's from
600.
Kankakee,
Instead, he
nigga.
came from an area called Kankakee, Illinois, but through Chief Wook's network, he eventually became tied into the family structure. Dooley Lowe might have actually been a drug plug for Lil Durk, but regardless, he grew very close to Durk, who would once joke that Dooley Lowe only had 4 ops because Kankakee was so small.
If I'm gonna show one of my on top of screen, if you believe in, if you think Durk is coming home, leave a comment. If you don't think Durk is coming home, leave a comment. Let's go.
To reach shot caller status within OTF, allegedly ordering 600's Big 60 to beat up 051
Bro, what's
in
up?
county jail and later posting proof of it.
He's coming. I miss him.
Hey,
Hey, say pause. Is Durk coming home? Chat, hold on. Don't use the chat. Don't use the chat. Don't use the chat.
But by 2025, Durk would be jailed on federal murder for hire charges, and fans would claim that unfortunately for Dooley Lowe, the Durk stimulus package had fully dried up. Because of that, when robbery rumors and arrests started hitting people around OTF, they felt like signs that the structure around the
coming
label
home?
had fully fallen apart. By 2025,
Bet.
OTF's Duty Low and OTF Boona stories had shifted into something much darker. Part of a story that traced back to a 2023 comedy skit where Duty
Oh, come on. Why this shit?
Low appeared with a man named Oscar Cruz, also known as Oz or OZ, in which he played a weed dealer that was being robbed.
235. 235. 235. No, I know 235. Hello? Hey, Duty Low, he talking about 235. Yeah, he talking about 235. 200 what? Yeah, I know my bubble.
When Cruz was violently killed in a church parking lot 2 years later, this harmless skit eerily
Okay,
mirrored
was
real
good.
life. But before Oscar appeared in a homicide report, another violent incident in Atlanta seemed to start a chain of
Chat, I can't tell if Duty Low is like a killer or just a cool ass nigga, bro. I've seen enough of like 600 Breeze. I don't know if 600 Breeze doesn't kill nobody,
What
but
screen is with Manco?
I know he stood on
It's
business.
Dirk
Like
coming
he
home.
was always willing to take it there. Like niggas like Bloodhound. By the way, you seen Bloodhound beefing with Breezy? Anyway, niggas like Bloodhound and Vaughn, they're actual killers, bro. Duty Low, I can't tell what he is. I can't tell if Duty Low's. I know he's not no goofy, but I don't know if he a killer. I don't know if he's just a cool ass nigga. I don't know if like he Mr. Stand on Bennett, bro. I don't know, nigga.
reaction. Because in the middle of May 2025,
Like put like this. I don't know if like Dirk really wants somebody dead. Dirk gonna be like,
type it.
Duty Low,
Type it. Comment.
reports begun circulating that Duty Low had been robbed and shot in Atlanta. A week later, Quando Rondo's brother Wop posted Duty Low's chain with a screenshot of a message that read, Duty Low said if we can get his chain back, he got some cheese for us. Soon after this, Lil Tim, the man who shot and killed King Von in Atlanta, would react to the leg shot, fueling speculation that the incident was connected to the war between OTF and Youngboy's NBA crew, as well as Quando's crew of Rolling 60 Crips that sometimes go by Jump Out Gang or 33rd Street.
Introduce you to that
He
life.
said Duty Low ain't shit. Leave some comments in here. Motherfucker.
Now, Duty Low would later push back against these theories in
I don't
an
know, 'cause
interview
I
on the
Duty Low
Danza
ain't
Project,
shit.
saying that Quando's people never took jewelry from him and that it was actually someone else.
Why is Duty Low ain't shit?
Goofies that posted money, right? Right. They don't have money. They had a video of it.
Wait. Duty Low got robbed?
Free to go, Dirk. Free to go. We got.
Y'all remember when
I put a poll up.
Y'all remember when
Go vote.
Y'all remember when Youngboy went off about when